The next time you need a haircut, think of the barbershop with a grand tradition. Williams Barbershop. Williams Barbershop, proud to serve the entire community of Eufaula. Come by to our new location, new facilities, and see what it's like to be treated in style at Williams Barbershop in the old J.C. Penney catalog store. There is another choice for making funeral arrangements. Central Funeral Services, located in Eufaula and Louisville, Alabama. With one-of-a-kind staff, thrives on professionalism and meeting the unique needs of families with a wide variety of services. Owned and operated by the Mixon family. Call 687-1060 or 266-5261. Melissa Mixon Smith, licensed funeral director.
You're watching Gumbo Live with LC Green, and I'm here with a superstar of a lady, and a God-fearing lady, and co-pastor here at Christian Life right here in Eufaula on Highway 80, is that 82? Highway 82 right here in Eufaula. And I'm very pleased to be here. I always told you that Gumbo Live would be fun and informative. And I'm here today. First of all, we want to talk about the blessing that the pastor and the co-pastor received right here from the membership. But before we do that, like we always do, I want my dear friend Sister Jackson to tell you who she is. Tell our listening audience who you are. Tell us a little something about yourself.
Okay. I am Donna Jackson, and I come here 30 years ago with my husband to start Christian Life Church in Eufaula because God spoke to him, not me. And I wasn't too happy to leave Montgomery and come down here, and so I drug my heels. But Ken said that was just a way of knowing that God sent him because I put up kind of a fuss about it. And so he came anyway, and he said, Donna, I'm going to do what God told me to do.
Amen.
And when you get ready, you come on down there. Right. So I started packing my boxes, and I came on down here.
Now, let me do this. Let me do this. If you ever watch my show, which I know you do, we talk about it all the time. You know, sometimes people be talking and they trigger something in my head, and I'll cut you off in the middle of the sentence.
That's okay.
I'm not trying to be rude.
No.
Now, you're originally from Alabama?
No, Georgia was our home.
Georgia.
But we came to Alabama with Ken in the business world when he was with Firestone Tire and Rubber. And then God called him kind of later in life, which would say I was later in life too. We didn't start out in the ministry real young.
Now, Dr. Jackson is from Georgia
Georgia too.
Mm-hmm. What part of Georgia?
We're from the area close to Atlanta.
Okay.
That's called Winder, Georgia, and Monroe, Georgia.
Okay, that's where y'all from. All right. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay. I didn't know that. Much time as I spend with y'all, and I want to say that I'm very happy. I'm very happy to say that y'all are my friends. No. I'm very happy to say
we're
that.
happy to have you as a friend
God
too.
Bless you. God bless you. Now, the congregation did something that's very, very unusual.
Yes.
Very, very unusual. Yes. And it made the paper. And I contrast that with what happened. We just read what happened in Montgomery, at the church in Montgomery with the pastor. Let's talk about.
I hadn't heard about the church.
Well, there's a lot happened up there. The pastor in Montgomery is on the news now, and it's opposite of what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
And not many congregations get a chance or take advantage of the opportunity to bless.
That's right.
Those that bless them.
That's right.
And I remember. One day in the office right there, I was talking to you and Pastor Ken, and I can remember you saying that you hope that you live long enough.
That's right.
To pay this building off.
Right.
To pay this building off.
So now I'm gonna ask him for a little bit longer.
All right, so you can enjoy it.
That's right.
And I must say, one of the hardest secrets I ever had to keep
Was that one?
was that one, because your daughter-in-law told me what the congregation wanted to do, and I wanted to be part of that. And then I remember her telling me, "So now you can't tell him."
But you know, Elsie, that is the most amazing thing. The money was, I mean, how can you even describe that? It was so wonderful. But the fact that they went 6 months with this process, and we didn't know one thing about it. And as I think back, people say, well, didn't you see us looking at each other or laughing when you had mentioned getting the debt paid off? I didn't. God must have just blinded our eyes, because we were totally, both of us, totally surprised at this.
Let's do this. Let's tell our listening audience and those who are viewing us on Gumbo Live what we're talking about. Everybody may not have read the paper.
Okay.
So let's tell them what we are talking about, and the simpler way that I can explain it
Okay.
is that the congregation came together and they broke themselves up into groups,
Yes.
and each group raised X amount of dollars to pay off
It's debt.
the debt of the church. The church is debt free now.
Absolutely.
Because of the membership. This was something not led by the pastor or the co-pastor. But because the congregation had, now you stop me when I get wrong.
Okay.
Because of the love that the congregation has for the pastor and the co-pastor, because of the seeds that they have been planted in other folks' lives,
That's right.
they decided to come together without saying anything to anybody and say, we're going to pay off this debt.
That's right.
So that y'all could live. All they asked God to do was let y'all live to see that Sunday.
That's right. And we did.
And you did. And so the church now is debt free.
That's right.
And the amazing thing about it, as a pastor myself, the amazing thing about it, normally when you got the debt, you got to have this fundraiser and this fundraiser, this thing, in order to pay off your debt. This was something that was led by the congregation.
That's right.
And I think that's the most amazing thing.
It's a miracle.
And everybody that has ever pastored, you understand what I'm talking about.
That's right.
This is not something that the pastor laid out a plan. You know, and it is a miracle. The miracle is several miracles what happened here. First of all, normally when God speak to folks, they resist.
Yes.
They resist God.
Yes.
They resist God.
I wonder if it's really God.
Right, especially if it's money.
Yes.
Especially if it's money.
Yeah.
It seemed like the only time that people really want to doubt God is when money's involved.
Yeah.
You know, especially when they got to give money. Now, if they're receiving money,
That's a different story.
they're quick to say it's God.
That's right.
So we rejoicing with you. We rejoicing with you. We rejoicing with you. We rejoicing with you on the miracle that took place here. And I think that this is an example. This is an example for everybody, not only the congregation, but also for the leadership. Those of us who are in leadership, those of us who God has allowed to pastor. This is a leader. This is an example. If you just wait on the Lord,
That's right.
and you just be faithful to wherever He placed you, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off.
That's right.
There's going to always be somebody. It's going to always be somebody that's going to be obedient to God.
Right.
And now we sitting here now, debt free, because of the congregation. And
they took ownership and did this on their own. And we've been here 30 years, and this is the first time, a fundraiser or anything, that people have took ownership and did this unbeknownst to us, and we had no part in it. So it's just a blessing to Ken and I both. And we came down here and met in the little metal building up there that's our youth hall now. And we met for, I think, 14 years maybe up there, and God spoke to Ken about building. And we wound up owing quite a bit when we borrowed the money on this building. And so we were 11 months from paying it off. And we don't owe anything now. That we got.
And this is a beautiful sanctuary. If anybody ever had the pleasure of coming here, this is a beautiful sanctuary, and sometime you ought to just stop in just to visit. They'll be glad to show you around.
Oh, yes.
So we went from the Mellor building where we meet at on Wednesdays to over here, which is a building. And we are here now. That's where we are here now, and it's always something going on. Several things, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But I just want to celebrate. I just want to celebrate, and I want to say it, and I know you have already said it, but I want you to say it again. That we're going to put this on local TV and on YouTube.
Okay.
So I'm going to say it first, and then I want you to say it. And I know y'all have already done it, but I want to say it. I want to thank the congregation.
Yes.
I want to thank the congregation for what you have done for Dr. and Dr. Jackson. I want to thank y'all for what y'all have done. And then I also want to thank you for setting an example.
Yes.
And can I say this? And be correct. We ain't talking about a whole large number.
No.
This wouldn't be listed as one of the mega churches.
No.
You know,
I wish it was.
You know, if it was a mega church,
that would be
then it wouldn't be so. Because we wouldn't be talking about a miracle. This is not a mega church.
No.
So you don't have to be a mega church.
No.
You just got to be a church determined to be led by God.
I understand, and I'm waiting to hear even more testimonies, but I understand that there were children that had Kool-Aid stands that made like $27.50, and there was a lady that had a yard sale over in Chattahoochee Courts and made $300 and something. So it wasn't like everybody was just emptying their bank accounts. They had a metal sale, put the pedal to the metal, and they collected all this metal and took it, and I think it brought $500 or $600. So it was, we had yard sales. I was involved in some of those, not knowing that it was doing this, you know. But it was a lot of things other than just people emptying their bank accounts, which we're just not blessed with really, we're blessed with wonderful people. Sure. But maybe not some that have $5,000 right in their bank account.
I understand. And so you don't have to have a mega church.
No.
You don't have to have a church full of millionaires.
No.
Because once we line up with God, all things are possible. And so I want to say thank you. And we're gonna give Sister Jackson a chance to say it again. And y'all know I'm saying thank you for taking care of my friends the way you have.
Yes.
But as a pastor, I'm saying to Christian Life, the membership, thank you for setting such a fine example of what we can do. Size does not matter.
No. Well, one of our members had gone to a out of town meeting, and they felt like God spoke to them while they were there, and said that they had, I think she said she had, had $5,000 saved up for a swimming pool, and God spoke to her heart and said, you need to put that on the building fund. And then when they got home, God spoke to her husband's heart and gave him this vision of 12. And so they really, God spoke to them, but like you said, they had to hear from God.
Sure.
And then they had to obey God.
Sure, that's right.
And so I just appreciate their obedience, and then all the people that got behind them in this, because it's just such a blessing when the pastors don't have to push something, and that it's just done and handed to them.
Now, don't you think also, Sister Jackson, don't you think also that this is a reflection of y'all teaching?
Well, I certainly pray so, because my husband not only teaches what the Bible says about tithing and giving, but he lives it. And so I think God is honoring his obedience to be a giver and a tither to the church. You can't outgive God.
No. I always say on my radio program, every Sunday morning I say, you need to find a church where it's preached, taught, and lived.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to find somebody that's teaching God's word, preaching God's word, and more important, like you just said, living God's word. When you preach it, you teach it, and you live it, you're going to get results.
You are, because he's a God that is faithful, and a God that's more than enough.
you know what I found, Sister Jackson, before we talk about something else. When you preach it, teach it, and live it, two things you can count on. You can count on God's blessings, and you can count on your enemies mounting up against you.
That's true.
That's two things you can count on. When God is in your life, when you are preaching, teaching, and living God's word, two things, my brothers and sisters, that you can count on without a shadow of a doubt. God is going to bless you because God is going to keep his word.
Right.
And your enemies are going to mount up against you.
Yeah. But if God be for you, who can be
It don't make no
against you?
difference
That's
about your
right.
enemies.
That's right.
So we don't want to spend no time talking about
That's right.
them. Now this is a beautiful sanctuary.
Thank you.
And one of the things that I know since my time being here that you will share this. This place is be shared, and you brought some outstanding teachers and preachers in here, and I've had a chance to be part of a lot of those that you've come, and I'm waiting on James Payne to come. I'm waiting on Payne to come. I'm waiting on him.
2 weeks, I
About two
believe.
more weeks, and I'm waiting on him. I'm waiting on him to come. And you always have, and that's something that speaks loud for itself. When you got a ministry that you know that you're not afraid to bring somebody else in.
That's right.
And I always tell people that God told me to feed the sheep.
That's right.
And I take that seriously, and I realize that I can't feed them all by myself.
No.
So I bring other folks in that can help me.
Well,
feed.
Ken is a teacher, and he brings in evangelist preachers because you need a balance there. And he's more of a teacher, and he doesn't. I mean, he's pretty secure in his walk with the Lord. He's not afraid of anybody.
Well, I want to say this because I've had a chance to have both of you to grace the pulpit where God has placed me, and I've been blessed to have both of you, and you don't have to take a back seat to him or nobody else. Both of y'all are good in your own right.
You're mighty sweet, but
well,
I'm his helper.
Yeah, well, I understand that, and it's
Some
good.
call me pastor, but I always say I'm his wife, his helper.
Yeah, well, that's fine, and one of the things we can't do, let somebody else define your role for you. You know your role, and that's fine, and we mean no disrespect, but we got to give you some kudos.
Well, thank you.
For what you do and for your personality and what you do, and I'm amazed how you maneuver in the pulpit, and you're so comfortable. You stood before my congregation, and you just like you was at home.
Well, thank you.
And the people responded. I always listen to people talk to me after somebody leaves that I bring in. And we've always been blessed. But now, last year, around this time last year, this room where we are now was full of stuff. And now you help me with this word.
Okay.
Y'all had
We have an auction.
There
We
you
have
go.
one. I don't know how many years we've been doing this now. And this year, some of the pressure will be off because we usually are putting the money, towards these things that we need, and the building's paid off. But we're still going to have our auction this year. I love our auction. And if you have never been to it, it would be a wonderful thing to come out to. It's on Friday, November the 21st. We always have it that Friday before Thanksgiving because a lot of people bake a lot of cakes and pies and things, and we can buy them, and then people like me that don't bake will have something for Thanksgiving.
Now, I tell you one of the things that stood out to me when I came in this room. A lot of stuff was handmade. We had a lot of things that people would hand make.
We have wreaths, and we have door hangers, and we have old people sometimes crochet things, and we just have a lot of handmade items. And in fact, we've had people outside the church and other churches that will make things and bring them in order to help our church and let us auction them off. And I try to do that too. If I hear of another church that might be having something like this, I can always make a wreath and take over there for them to auction off, because it's just a blessing. And the way I look at it too is we have what we call a silent auction.
Right.
It starts at 5, it goes to about 6:15, and in that time we're going to do pick up foods to eat if they want to buy a hot dog or something. And then after we get through at 5:15, then the real auction starts, 6:15. The real auction starts at 6:30.
Now, if I remember, now you got to help me because I don't want to give people the wrong information.
Okay.
And when I remembered last year, when I said to you, I said, well, how much is this going to go for? And you said, whatever it go for.
That's right. Sometimes I'll have $30 in a wreath, and it'll go for $25. but it's all going to the church, so
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it too, that way you're blessing people that might not could have had something that nice
Mhm, mhm.
with a less amount of money.
Mhm.
And the silent auction is where you really, really, really get some good buys, because it's beforehand and you just, you put down $2 and somebody comes along and puts $3 down, then you go back and put $4 down, and at the end, the one that has the highest bid will get it.
Mhm.
And we have baskets that are done up that's already wrapped for Christmas and things like that.
Mhm.
So that's always a good thing for people to be able to come and get a nice gift to give somebody for a reasonable price.
And I see behind us, we already got some stuff
Yes, we
behind
do.
us.
We do.
And I see some stuff back there that I like.
Yeah.
I like that picture back there, and those pillows. There's a lot of stuff already back there, but I envision that it won't be long before this room
It'll be full.
be full. Now I know you say outsiders come and bring
Yeah.
stuff, but this is a church
It's
project.
mostly church. I mean, when
Mhm.
I say outsiders, it might be 4 or 5 times we've had that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But it's mostly church congregation, or maybe where they work,
Mhm.
like one of our men works at a building supply.
Mhm.
I don't know if because he's in our church, has been for years and years.
Mhm.
And they give Mike O'Hearn the supplies, and he builds a outbuilding, like a
Mhm.
storage building.
Mhm.
He builds
Oh.
that every year, and we auction that off. That's
Okay.
our big item every year.
Yeah. So now this is what we need to say. This is the point that we need to make. That even though it's a church, it's open to the public.
Yes.
Anybody
Oh,
can
yes,
come in.
yes.
Anybody can come in. Anybody. Now it's just that one day. It's just Friday the 21st.
Friday night, the 21st.
Okay.
right.
Okay. Now I know this. I know last year. We tried to come in here and get some stuff beforehand.
No.
No.
Gotta
So-
come to the
So
auction.
everything is done and is done fairly.
Yes.
Nobody has no advantage,
No.
church member, nobody else.
No.
So we got to come here Friday, November the 21st. And the silent auction is
It's
5
5
o'clock. And the live auction
It's at
is
6:30.
6:30. It's 6:30. So now the biggest difference, now whatever don't go at the silent auction will go at the live auction?
No, you just,
No.
everybody's gonna bid something that's not but $1, and they get it for that. I mean, if something is not selling and somebody puts 50 cents down, they get it for
They're
that.
gone.
That's right.
So at the silent auction, everything gonna be
Everything goes at the silent auction. That's where you can really pick up some good deals.
Okay.
And then and you can at the live auction too, but we put our bigger things at the live auction.
Okay. All right. Now that's very good. That's very interesting. Because what I was thinking, I said,
Everything
well,
goes.
okay, all right.
We don't carry anything over.
Okay, all right. So you hear that? So you could get a good deal for $2 or $3 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I know last year. Y'all had a sofa sitting out there.
We did.
You had a sofa sitting out there.
2 was donated, used sofas,
Mhm,
and they
mhm.
sold outside.
Then
I think we put the highest bid on that and whatever somebody said on it. Maybe
Mhm.
I don't remember exactly how that went,
Mhm.
but they were outside because, can I say this?
Mhm.
They were smokers' couches.
Okay.
They were donated from a thrift store in town.
Okay.
But they were smoker couches, and I put for bees,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
you call it.
yeah.
I put it all over it, and
Yeah,
it still smells. So
yeah.
I left them on the porch.
All right. But now, I'm interested in the storage shed, and that would be.
That'll
a
be
storage
sitting
shed.
outside. Mike usually gets it here about the Wednesday or Thursday before the auction.
Okay.
And he sets it outside the building on a flatbed.
Mhm.
And not only do you buy that for whatever, I think Ken and I one year got it and it was $700 or $800, but it was a nice one. It's wood and you paint it.
Mhm.
And that not only do you buy it from the auction, then he brings it to your home and sets it up.
Oh.
So you
can't
can't
lose.
beat it,
Yeah,
you cannot
yeah, yeah.
lose. And
Yeah.
he can do a metal building, but the last few years he's done the wooden, so you could paint it the color that you wanted it to.
So that's very good. That's very good. So once again, what I try to do, we try to tell people over and over again. One of the things that you learn in broadcasting is that the more you repeat something, the better.
The better.
You know, a lot of people, tell me, well, you keep saying the same thing. Well, it's number one, it's important, and
Yeah.
number two,
Yeah.
that's how our mind works.
That's right.
You got to repeat things.
That's right.
So it's going to be Friday,
Friday,
November the 21st.
that's it,
The silent auction is at 5
5.
p.m.
And can I,
Sure, go ahead.
and
Sure.
check this, at 5 p.m., they're gonna start doing a dollar menu. It'll be hot dogs, potato chips, drinks, and dessert, and all of that's dollar, dollar, dollar. So
Oh,
you can't eat cheaper
okay,
than that.
okay.
It'll be chili dogs,
All
I said
right.
hot dogs,
Yeah,
chili dogs.
yeah. All right. Well, I tell you what I want. I want the chili on my bun without the hot dog.
Okay, well, we'll let you do it.
All right, all right.
You can have it your way.
All right. All right. So we want to be here. Now that's at 6:30. That's at 6:30.
Now, that's
The live auction. The live auction at 6:30. That's when somebody's gonna actually stand up and say, yeah.
That's right. I hope it'll go that fast.
So it's gonna be here at Christian Life.
Yes.
Right here on Highway 82.
82.
The address is actually 38.
38 Highway 82.
Highway 82. Let's give them the phone number.
687-7757.
Okay. Now let's do that again.
Okay.
And because we're on YouTube,
Okay.
let's get the area code in
Area
case
code.
somebody from out of town
Okay.
want to call us.
Okay.
Want to call us and what I may try to do. What I may try to do.
Okay.
I may try to come here maybe a week before.
And take, pictures.
Yeah,
That would be
and
wonderful.
what we can do, we can let folks take part in the auction over the phone.
That might be good.
You
Hadn't
follow
done
what I'm
that
saying?
before, but it would be good.
You know, we close to Georgetown,
Yeah,
we close to
yeah,
Columbus,
yeah.
we close to Fort Benning,
Uh-huh.
and somebody may see something on YouTube,
Yeah,
and they may want to come and be at auction, the silent auction, I guess.
right.
And
Well, in the, last year, I did say, if you want to bid on the building, right up here and see and not come to the auction, give me your bid in an envelope, and I will open it that night and not tell anybody.
Okay.
And if you get the high bid on that, you'll
sure.
get it.
Okay, so let's do two things
Okay.
before we go.
Okay.
Let's give them the address again.
Okay.
I didn't mess that up so many times.
Okay.
And let's give them the phone number with the area code.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're at Christian Life Church, 38 Highway 82, Eufaula, Alabama, and the phone number is 334-687-7757.
And just so you know, this is gonna also be fun.
Oh, it's
this
so
gonna
much
be fun. It's gonna be
fun. It's so
fun. It's
much
gonna be
fun.
fun. And so that's gonna be Friday, November the 21st. And let's just concentrate on one time. Let's concentrate on 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
But now, if you just getting off at 5 and you say, "Oh, Lord, I'm late. It's 5:15." Don't worry about it.
No,
Because
it'll go
6:30.
It'll go to 6:15, the silent auction. So
Okay.
if they got in at 6 o'clock, they would have chance to see what everybody else had bid and throw them a number under there. So
Okay.
that's no problem.
All right,
And
all
then
right.
the live auction will start at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And they're gonna be eating,
Okay.
walking around with a chili dog or whatever
Okay.
you want during that time. But at 6:30, everything is shut off. The silent auction is closed down, and then we start the live auction.
And so those of us who have children, we can load our children up and bring our children with us, and they'll be eating while we be looking around to see what we want to bid on. Now last year y'all had Alabama stuff, Auburn
We
stuff.
did, and I don't know until time, but a lady this year says she is covering a straight chair with the houndstooth paper and decoupaging it and doing a seat with an Alabama A on it. But we'll have Auburn stuff. I'm sure someone will do some Auburn stuff, and we'll have Alabama stuff. And I don't think we've ever had any Georgia stuff, but we
Well,
did get somebody to make us
I
something
tell
Georgia.
you what
And
you do.
Louisiana.
There you go. I'm going to tell you. You keep me posted, and I'm going to get a reef.
Okay.
LSU reef made.
Okay.
It's like, and if you want to have an idea what it's like, pass by my house, and you'll see one on my
Okay.
mailbox, and I have one, and that's gonna probably be your highest bid.
Because you're going to bid on it. I will not bid on that one.
Oh well, and we probably get you something from Georgia too, because there are a lot of Georgia folks
Yeah.
around here.
Good.
I'll talk to some of the Georgia fans around here.
That'd be
and we'll get you
great.
something from Georgia.
People love collegiate things.
Yes. So we'll get that. We'll get
That's
that.
wonderful.
But now, before we go is I'm gonna give you after I say my little piece. I'm gonna give you a moment to say whatever you want to say before we go. Again, you're watching Gumbo Live, and we are every Tuesday. We are on at 6:45 locally on channel 97, and we're on YouTube at Eufaula TV 1. You pull up Eufaula TV 1, and you'll see Gumbo Live. You can watch this program over and over again. If there's any information that we have said and we may have talked too fast, for you to hear it, then you can come on back and watch it over and over again. But we want all of you to meet us on Friday night, November the 21st, right here at Christian Life. If you get to Eufaula, you can ask anybody where Christian Life is. Just say that's that church on 82.
That's right.
And they will direct you here. So again, I want to thank, first of all, Pastor Jackson for allowing us to be here and spending time with his lovely wife. And so you're watching Gumbo Live with L.C. Green. So Jackson, what you want to say before we go?
I just want to say that I'm overwhelmed always with the faithfulness of God. And sometimes we pray and pray and pray, and it looks like our prayers aren't being answered. And but if we just keep on holding on to what we know God's promises say, I am truly believing for some really strong things now in my life, in the life of my family, and life of people in the church. And I just know that if we keep on holding on to what God tells us, that all things are going to work together for good of those that love Him and are fitting into His plan, that I believe with all my heart we're going to start seeing the miracles that we're believing God for to come to pass. This of the church being paid off was a great miracle, because we're pastors, but we're not perfect, and we get discouraged at times too. But this was a real faith builder for me, and I believe many in our congregation.
All right, thank you so much. Listen, before I go, I'm going to leave you with this word. Don't give up on God.
No.
Because God has never, ever, and never will give up on you.
That's right.
Don't give up on Him.
That's right.
Just keep saying your prayer. You're watching Gumbo Live with L.C. Green and Miss Donna Jackson. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for everything.
Enjoy.
God bless you.
The next time you need a haircut, think of the barber shop with a grand tradition. Williams Barbershop. Williams Barbershop, proud to serve the entire community of Eufaula. Come by to our new location, new facilities, and see what it's like to be treated in style at Williams Barbershop in the old JCPenney catalog store. There is another choice for making funeral arrangements. Central Funeral Services, located in Eufaula and Louisville, Alabama, with one-of-a-kind staff, thrives on professionalism and meeting the unique needs of families with a wide variety of services. Owned and operated by the Mixon family. Call 687-1060 or 266-5261. Melissa Mixon Smith, licensed funeral director.